Hello everybody, how are y'all doing? Welcome back to Man City Unplugged, your very own Man City fan channel. Another exciting news for all of us City fans today. As you can see in the title of this video, as you can see in the picture beside me, Walker and John Stones have returned to training. Wow, it's just mouth-watering for me. After a few rough weeks, finally I have a smile on my face, relishing the prospect of City putting out literally the best defense against Aston Villa. It's a game we need to win. It's a game where there'll be nerves in the stadium. It's a game where, I mean, it's you would say it's just Aston Villa at home, right? They're 14th in the league, something like that. But back then also it was just QPR in the league, right? At this stage, in these moments, the final day, the final occasion, in these moments, in cup final especially, this is almost like a cup final for City. So in these moments, the opponent goes out of the window because City are not playing against Aston Villa on Sunday on the final day. City are in fact playing against themselves. City are in fact playing against the nerves of their fans. City are in fact playing against that pressure of knowing that Liverpool is almost certainly gonna win, so you have to win. So other than the opposing team, City is playing against literally everything and all of the other external factors like pressure, personality, character. All the doubters who have said that after Real Madrid, City lack character and all of that, they'll be back. If City don't do well against Aston Villa, if you're not able to clinch the title. So we are literally playing against the world. I know it's been like this since the inception of this club. No, it has always been like this, even when we were in the third tier of English football and all. It has always been like this. And I know it has always been City against the world, us against the world. And it will be like this more so than in the previous decades against Aston Villa. So I mean, Walker, Stones being back, especially Walker being back, wow. Suddenly, Walker being back, it just removes the threat of someone like an Ole Watkins running back. Now it means that, okay, even if Stones is not able to make it, Laporte and Diaz, for example, even Laporte and Fernandinho, Walker being back would mean that Walker will offer you that recovery runs. Fernandinho being caught on the counter, don't worry, Walker will get back. Cancelo will get back. Zinchenko, Bowen making those runs. If Cancelo was on the left flank, Walker on the right flank, I don't think West Ham would have played in that way. So this is a big difference. I'm really excited with Stones being back as well, but Walker is such a great boost for us to get back. It's so that's such a great news, that to right almost at the edge. It's just 2 days remaining, right? Someone today morning in a social forum we just discussing, asking me, he asked the question that is Kyle Walker fit enough to face Aston Villa, and most of our fans were like, no, he's out for the season and all of that. Now this might also be a tactical thing by Pep Guardiola, not to reveal that Kyle Walker had the chance to come back. So it could now have caught Aston Villa off guard. I know Aston Villa have a game, I think it's today or tomorrow. They have a game tomorrow, I think. I don't know, but they have a game today or tomorrow. So Aston Villa would have been preparing, keeping City in mind, knowing that Walker will not be playing, which means Cancelo on the right flank, Zinchenko on the left flank, almost Fernandinho playing in the middle, or an Ake playing in the middle who's not so good in build-up. So when you picture these things without Walker, especially, the entire preparation changes. It means that now you don't have to deal with Joao Cancelo stepping into the midfield, which means you can spread your midfield much more and try to man-mark someone like a De Bruyne or track someone like a De Bruyne with your midfielder. So Cancelo not tracking back, no recovery pace, which means you could play your forwards hard and high and wide. So lot of things will change in the preparation of a team, with preparation of the opposition team, with Walker playing and with Walker not playing. So I really think this is a major boost for us with Kyle Walker returning back to training. And another news is it's the transfer news. Yes, you have seen there. It's the transfer news of that as none other than Kalvin Phillips Fabrizio Romano last time when he was telling Haaland, he told one thing clearly. City this transfer window are not just in there for Haaland. The Haaland is done, right? Haaland is done. This was 2 weeks ago. Fabrizio Romano said Haaland is almost done, and City are in the market to replace Fernandinho, to get a CM or CDM, and also to get a left back. So Fabrizio Romano characteristically pointed out that City are in the market for 3 players this summer: striker, a central midfielder, and a left back. So one is done, striker. Now central midfielder is interesting for me. Kalvin Phillips, Matthew Nunes is someone who is very close to City. Matthew Nunes is like almost Fabrizio Romano stated the name. City are looking at centre midfielders like Matthew Nunes, like Enzo Fernandez. So these are the 2 names that Fabrizio Romano had stated. So he had never stated Kalvin Phillips. This is the latest development, and I'll tell you why this latest development is coming to the fore now about Kalvin Phillips. Why there is so much news about Kalvin Phillips. But Matthew Nunes, I've thought that City in the last 1 year have scouted Matthew Nunes so many times. Matthew Nunes is almost like I actually thought, looking at Matthew Nunes, that he would be the perfect heir to Fernandinho. And one thing about Matthew Nunes is maybe he could even be a little bit of an upgrade on Fernandinho. I know people will come on me for this, but upgrade in terms of ability on the ball. Matthew Nunes is as strong defensively as Fernandinho. I know it's just the Portuguese league, but Matthew Nunes is as strong positional sense defensively as Fernandinho, and the way he shields the ball, the way he dribbles the ball, it's somewhat like even a Busquets, Rodri, those ilk kind of a players. Matthew Nunes, even a Bernardo Silva, I would say, in the way he dribbles the ball, more than a Rodri, is a Bernardo Silva kind of a dribbler of the ball, kind of the way he shields the ball. Matthew Nunes is very good defensively and loves to play that long balls. Matthew Nunes loves to go forward and he dribbles the ball very well. So I thought Matthew Nunes would be a very, very good fit. Enzo Fernandez, I don't think Enzo Fernandez is whom we need right now. Enzo Fernandez for me is like is not defensive minded, but is more of an attacking box to box midfielder. I know why City are looking at Enzo Fernandez. City are looking at Enzo Fernandez to actually replace Ilkay Gundogan. That has been the narrative that has been put forth by the press and everyone. But Ilkay Gundogan, there has been news coming out, I think it is day before yesterday or something, that Ilkay Gundogan's camp is very unhappy with all of these rumors stating that the club chiefs have told Ilkay Gundogan that he can find a new club. Well, first of all, when I read that story, I was like, what kind of crap shit is this? What kind of stupid article is this? Because first of all, Gundogan will not be asked to leave in such a disrespectful manner by the City's chiefs, like just telling him you're free to find a new club. No, because we have to remember that Ilkay Gundogan has been so pivotal at the start of this era, this Pep Guardiola era for us. If the first player, if you remember, whom Pep Guardiola signed, he helped our team really transform into this era. He was like the bridge. He was like, I would say, one of the most pivotal players in the Pep Guardiola era. Like you could say, David Silva, Yaya Toure, Sergio Aguero, Vincent Kompany were the pivotal players in the era of Mancini, Pellegrini. In the same way, Gundogan was the pivotal player in this Pep Guardiola era. So I knew from the start that article about Gundogan was nonsense. Gundogan's not leaving at all. Today, in fact, a few hours ago, Gundogan's wife, I think, she just posted, reports are coming that she's very upset that rumors have come that Gundogan is leaving the Premier League and all. So Gundogan is set to stay, which means Enzo Fernandez is not a player we are looking at least for this season. And also we have to remember that we have got James McAtee, who can play in that attacking midfield role, the same role in which Enzo Fernandez plays. We have even got a Cole Palmer, Oscar Bob coming through the academy who can play that role. So this is nonsense that Gundogan is leaving. And Enzo Fernandez, I would not like Enzo Fernandez to come this summer to City, because it would just, I mean, if Gundogan's staying, you have Gundogan, Bernardo Silva, Kevin De Bruyne, literally when Phil Foden pushing for that spot, Jack Grealish maybe in the midfield, so 5 players. With Enzo Fernandez, it will be 6 players competing for 2 spots in the midfield. And if you include someone like a James McAtee has been nominated for the Premier League 2 Player of the Season. James McAtee has been past that Premier League 2 season level. It's time that James McAtee joins the first team. I'm expecting James McAtee to be blooded into the team like Phil Foden was a couple of seasons ago. So there's no space in the midfield for many people. I think we just have space to replace Fernandinho. JSK is here. Hey JSK, how are you doing? So I just think that we have the space for Fernandinho. That's it. I know where this Enzo Fernandez story is being fed from. It's being fed from the Barcelona journalists and all, because they want to sell. They want to sell Frankie De Jong, because Barcelona is in a kind of a financial crisis and all. So they want to get rid of Frankie De Jong. It doesn't seem that De Jong is interested to go to Man United. So there is all this narrative that Pep Guardiola wants Frankie De Jong, has always been interested. Yes, Pep was interested in Frankie De Jong, but that was before he went to Barcelona. Right now, it's all really filled up. There's no space for Frankie De Jong here, because Frankie De Jong would occupy Bernardo Silva's place. We discussed it yesterday as well. So no Enzo Fernandez, no Frankie De Jong, and nothing. But let us discuss Kalvin Phillips. But before that, JSK is telling, do you speak Hindi, by the way? Yes, JSK, I do speak Hindi, yeah. So Kalvin Phillips, for me, Kalvin Phillips is interesting on 2 counts. It's gonna be either Kalvin Phillips or it's gonna be Matheus Nunes. People are telling Tchouaméni, Aurelius Tchouaméni, but Tchouaméni is gonna be, I mean, very difficult, because Real Madrid wants to pair Tchouaméni with Camavinga. Eric Ten Hag wants Tchouaméni, and Tchouaméni would cost us 70 million euros, round about that. He's in demand. So I don't think Tchouaméni is possible with the amount of money we spent on Haaland in terms of agent fees and all of that. So Kalvin Phillips is interesting for me on 2 counts. First thing is, he's played in the Premier League, whereas Matheus Nunes, he is from the Portuguese league, but that should not be a matter, because Bernardo Silva is from the Portuguese league. But the thing is, Matheus Nunes has always played in a 2 for Sporting. He's always played in a 2, and Kalvin Phillips has held that midfield by himself. Kalvin Phillips has played in a 1, just like Rodri plays for City under Marcelo Bielsa. And you can just imagine how Marcelo Bielsa plays. It's all gung-ho football, which means to be a CDM in a Marcelo Bielsa team, it's just that you can play as a CDM anywhere else. That kind of positional awareness which you need to have, that kind of engine to play in a 1 in a team where none of your midfielders almost support you. Everyone is attacking, and you're the one who has to look after the spaces, cover the spaces. When the opposition team is switching, you have to run from right to left. That is what impressed me about Kalvin Phillips. If you can see his strengths and weaknesses of Kalvin Phillips, this is something very interesting for me. Almost everything is a tick mark. If you see in his strengths, it's ball interception, ball retention, blocking the ball, and you look at his style of play. He likes to do fouls, which is the tactical fouling thing, which I think we can discuss openly now. Everyone knows it. He likes to tackle. He likes to shoot from distance. I think this is, and also Kalvin Phillips is in the top 5 players, 5-6 players who is 1 possession back. For much, and I'll do that. I'll do that. I'll make sure I'll do that. Thank you so much. Sumant is telling Kalvin Phillips or develop Romeo Lavia. Sumanta, you know, that's the conundrum here. Do you even not just Romeo Lavia? Remember Tommy Doyle? Tommy Doyle has gone back to loan to one of the German clubs. I don't know which club it is, and is going to come back in the summer to City. Tommy Doyle, people are talking about Frankie De Jong, but what about Tommy Doyle? Tommy Doyle for me has the same vision. Of course, he's not played at the higher level, but in terms of potential and all, his style of play, it's similar to Frankie de Jong. In fact, I would go a step further and say the vision of Tommy Doyle, for me, I almost see him as a Pirlo ilk kind of a player, which Frankie de Jong is not. Frankie de Jong doesn't have as much vision from a long range like a Pirlo, but Tommy Doyle has. So in a way, I think Tommy Doyle development, Romeo Lavia development, the James McAtee development. But then one thing here, Sumant, you go into the next season, you're competing for four trophies. Liverpool is not going to go away. You saw the monster of Liverpool. Rodri is injured. Will you have the guts to play? Rodri is injured in a Champions League semi-final, like Walker was injured or Stones was injured, and we didn't have centre backs. So what do you do then? Would you play a Romeo Lavia against a Real Madrid or a Liverpool in the Champions League semi-final or an FA Cup final? Would you play would you play a Tommy Doyle? The inexperience, that's a big conundrum. That's the big pressure on Pep Guardiola. We as City fans expect him to win trophies year on year. We as City fans, when Rodri made a single mistake, I think it was a mistake against Crystal Palace or some team early on in the season, and all of the fans were like, Rodri is having a shit season. Remove Rodri. If our DM has one bad game, if our midfielders, Kevin De Bruyne, when he returned from injury early on in the season, people were like, he's slowing the game down, play Gundo, Bernardo Silva. Even now, people tell me that Gundogan, Bernardo Silva and Rodri is the best midfield, and De Bruyne is slowing the game down, even after what is done against Wolves. So, as a fan base, we are so much critical on our players, especially nowadays in the last 4 or 5 years. So, how can Pep Guardiola develop young players in such an environment where he's being put under the magnifying glass in each game? JSK says Romeo Lavia won't get a chance if Pep stays. In fact, I don't think, except Palmer, I don't think anyone will get the chance in first team. JSK, but I think James McAtee has to be given a chance. James McAtee has had, 20 goals and 15 assists or 16 assists in 25 PL2 games, something like that. I don't have the exact numbers, but his numbers are insane in the Premier League too. So, in each game, James McAtee plays, he scores a bucket load of goals, 2 goals, 3 goals every game. So I don't think Pep Guardiola can stop giving a chance to James McAtee. And Romeo Lavia, it's interesting because Pep Guardiola, when Lavia just joined the club, Pep immediately brought him into the first team. What's the word going on around in the City youth setup among the coaches, even among the first team coaches internally? The word is that Romeo Lavia, the kind of positional awareness he has, the kind of positional sense he has, the coaches say that they haven't seen in a long time among any player, even among top level players, the kind of awareness and maturity Romeo Lavia has at 19 years. The maturity in terms of identifying the spaces and in terms of going into spaces and realizing, okay, when the ball is in that position, that area of the field, where should I go into? When the ball is in this area of the field, where should I go into? That kind of positional sense. Even someone like internally, the word is like from City sources, even someone like a Guanma Lilo is just, so he is just so much fascinated with how Romeo Lavia at such a young age analyzes the game. There was another youngster in the DM position called as Claudio Gomez. He was we bought him from PSG 3 years ago, and he was said to be the next big thing. But people inside of City, the coaches say that Romeo Lavia is really almost ready to break into that first team and is unpressable as well. So Suman says maybe this season McAtee, Jan Kuto, Delap, Palmer will be involved more. At least should more, because Walker is becoming world. Mate, Sumant, Jan Kuto is a name. I'm just I can't describe what a Jan Kuto is. Many of our fan base hasn't heard his name as much because he's been sent to learn. Loan. People say that the delivery of Jan Kuto is like Trent Alexander-Arnold. The way he crosses the ball, it has a curve, it has a dip of a David Beckham, Trent Alexander-Arnold, and is fast as well. And the best thing about Jan Kuto, His one-on-one defending is very, very good. The one-on-one defending of Jan Kuto, he exactly knows how to do it. One-on-one defending is an art. It can't be taught as much, just like you can't teach a striker how to score a goal, as is the case of Raheem Sterling we are seeing. So one-on-one defending is an art, and Jan Kuto is right up there. Jan Kuto is really up there in terms of understanding one-on-one defending. And the best thing about Jan Kuto is he will not take time to integrate into Pep Guardiola's system. That is because if you see the positions Jan Kuto loves to occupy, he loves to drift infield from the fullback position. He is almost playing as an inverted fullback, Jan Kuto. And the runs he makes infield and the runs and the decisions he takes to overlap, it's just again a maturity beyond his young years. So Jan Kuto will be very interesting. People say it's the next Dani Alves and period. I can't give him more credit. He's the next, not even Dani Alves. People are going another step further and say that Jan Kuto could be the next Cafu. That's how high people think of Jan Kuto. So Jan Kuto is definitely coming. You know what would be a perfect summer transfer window for us? It could be us. I mean, we have signed Haaland already, of course. It could be us signing, us integrating Jan Kuto into the team very well, and us signing Cucurella. I mean, that would just strengthen us so much. You have Cancelo, Cucurella, Walker, Jan Kuto, and Cucurella can play as a centre back as well as a left back. Cancelo can play as a left back as well as a right back. Could give Walker more rest. You could integrate Jan Kuto into the team. It could be such a fascinating summer for us. And just regarding this, Suman says we have very good players in academy, but what is the path for breaking into the first team? So Suman, the path might not be actually visible, and people would say that the best path for someone to break into the City team, the best path for City's youngsters actually to get regular football is a loan away, just like Jadon Sancho took. But if you analyze what happened to Jadon Sancho, the Dortmund loan was very good, right? But do you guys think that Jadon Sancho did the right thing by moving to Dortmund and then by moving to United? Did he develop well and Dortmund? Because I've heard this thing about German football. German football can be very, just an example of how a foreign league can be. German football can be very rigid, which means that most of the teams in that league play a similar characteristic style, which is mostly play on the counter, sit back and defend and things like that. So it's a similar style. But whereas in the Premier League, you see teams from top to bottom. Each team plays a different style. So I thought that Jadon Sancho, just as an example, could have developed more staying under Pep and could have found his way into the first team. Because if you perform well at the highest level, Pep will not put you out for long. He's shown it with Foden. He's showing it with Grealish as well. Grealish is performing bad, he's out. Raheem is performing bad, he's out. When they perform good, they are in. They're not out. So Pep selects youngsters. He offers them a pathway based on merit. You just need to have patience. JSK says we need a defensive RB. We already have Zini and Cancelo and right back. In right back, so no point in getting another left back. I think you meant left back, Zini and Cancelo in left back. But JSK, I think that, do you think Zinchenko is capable of playing in that left back position? I do not think. Just see how many goals Zinchenko costs us. Okay, Zinchenko might be good playing teams in the bottom half, playing teams that sit back, but when players run at you, look what happened in the Champions League final, look what happened last year in the FA Cup semi-final, look what happened against Real Madrid, look what happened against West Ham. So, Zinchenko, when a winger is running at him at pace, you don't trust Zinchenko to literally put in that defensive shift. Zinchenko is an excellent attacking left back, but Zinchenko, He's not good defensively. That period, he's not good defensively at the highest level. And now, in this decade, and further, we as a team, City, we will look to win 4 trophies year in and year out. You saw last year Champions League final, this year almost a Champions League final, Champions League semi-final. So now we are, as a team, we have grown to a stage where year on year we'll be competing at least a minimum in Champions League semi-final, just like elite clubs like Barcelona, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich do. So, do you think Zinchenko is sufficient for the demands of that? Of playing in Champions League semi-finals, finals, and quarter-finals, where you'll be faced with attackers who are monsters. City worked so hard against Real Madrid to create those chances. We had to hit Real Madrid with a technical tornado, mate, in the first leg and in the second leg to an extent. And yet Benzema, for example, receives a random cross and he puts it in. Closes his eyes and puts it in almost. So one mistake, you're out. So is Zinchenko good in managing those margins? Is Zinchenko good in playing on those 0.0001% margins? He's not. Is Zinchenko good in putting that last tackle? Is Zinchenko good in putting that recovery sprint? It's not good enough. Zinchenko is not good enough. And I mean, I know we have protected Zinchenko very well. Zinchenko is one of my favorite players as well in the City team. Thorough professional, always gives everything for the team. But as the level of our team grows, we have to be factual as well. We have to look at how we can evolve to the next level. And the way I see this team going to the next level is bring in a left foot at left back who is very good defensively as well. Since Pep has come from 2016 to 2022 to this age, to this year, have we given Pep a reliable left back? No, right? Benjamin Mendy was available for 1 month in the 2017 season, and then he played with Fabian Delph. He's been playing with Zinchenko. He's been playing with, whoever. Sometimes Fernandinho, sometimes Laporte played there in the 2018-19 season. So really, let us give Pep a very good left back and see a left back who's very good defensively, a left back who can play according to Pep's tactical demands, which is very, very hard. Let us give it to Pep and see what Pep will actually do, because that for me is really interesting. We have never given Pep that sort of a thing. And coming back to this youngsters thing, I do think there is a path. Like Sumant was telling, there's no way. I think when JSK was mentioning, JSK was also mentioning it along with Sumant, that there's no way there's no way for these youngsters to come into this team. I disagree with you guys in terms of that, because there's a spot being vacant there. Fernandinho, okay, we might replace him with Matthew Nunes. Ilkay Gundogan is going. Riyad Mahrez is gonna go. Gabriel Jesus is gonna go. So there you have 3 spots, which means a Liam Delap, a Cole Palmer, a James McAtee might come. Kevin De Bruyne is almost 30, right? 30, 31. 2 more years at the highest level, Kevin De Bruyne. Then he will slowly be phased out. And in will come James McAtee. When we see a big talent in the academy at 18, at 19, even at 20, the first thing we want to do is we want to rush him and play him, which is absolutely wrong. That is what happened to players like Michael Owen, for example. I think at 21, Michael Owen won the Ballon d'Or. At 24, Michael Owen burned out. Fernando Torres, what happened? Burned out at 26. Why do these young players burn out? These young players burn out because they're not being managed well from a young age. So that's what Pep Guardiola does really well. So I do think that James McAtee, Kevin De Bruyne, I do think there's this sort of a pairing in the first team training as well, that James McAtee knows eventually that Kevin De Bruyne will be gone, and will not be gone, but his impact will decrease in the next 2-3 years, and he has the time. Until then, next 2-3 years, you can learn from Kevin De Bruyne, and you can and you can wait and slowly get integrated into the academy. Into the first team. The same thing with Cole Palmer and Riyad Mahrez. They say Cole Palmer is the next Riyad Mahrez. The same thing with Delap, Haaland. when Real Madrid comes calling, he might go after 4 or 5 years, we do not know. And anyway, if Jesus is sold, we will sell either Jesus or Sterling. So because we have to offload someone. Remember, we're getting Julian Alvarez as well. So we'll have to offload some attackers. So there is definitely space. It's just that these youngsters need to maintain that patience. JSK says buying Grealish was useless. Was it actually useless? Made this a very difficult question. And if Grealish would have put the season on fire, would you have actually told Grealish was useless? Because from one perspective, the competition for all the spaces is full, right? Grealish, Foden on one side, and then you have a Riyad Mahrez, Raheem Sterling on the other side, and Sterling can actually play on the left wing as well. So there's no space over there for Grealish. But when Pep bought Grealish, the intention was to play Grealish as a false nine, to develop Grealish as a false nine, and also maybe play him as an 8 because of the control he has in the midfield and stuff like that. But I do think that this false nine bubble has really burst, especially in this season, because against Parthaba's teams, suddenly we are seeing that this false nine is becoming useless, because the defenders in Parthaba's teams are just staying back. Now they don't care if there's a striker, if there's no striker. What they are defending is they're defending the width of their box. They're defending narrow, defending the width of their box. And with the false nine, the idea of a false nine is you drop into the midfield, right? And then create an overload. But against Parthaba's teams, they're defending a width of the box. The play is happening in front of them. Useless, right? False nine against Parthaba's teams, and 70-80% of the teams do Parthabas against City. I do think that is the reason why Pep wanted Kane, because he can be a perfect false nine and he can be a perfect number 9. And people say that Pep wanted to go back for Kane this season more than it is being shown out, but somehow City's hierarchy have convinced him of Erling Haaland. I can see that because of the resale value, and Haaland is young. From a brand perspective, marketing perspective, it's the first time one of the best players in the world is coming to City, a potential best player after Ronaldo and Messi. So I could actually see that in Haaland. So in a way, Pep thought Grealish could play that false nine role, and he can be in the midfield and stuff. He can do a role which Gundo was doing. Gundo had back problems towards the end of last season. So Pep really thought it could be Grealish and Gundo, with Gundo's reduced playing time. But what Pep didn't take into account is his false nine system has been found out a bit. So I don't know how Pep will manage Grealish, especially with these youngsters coming through. You're right, mate. Grealish, I still don't have a clarity. I don't have any doubts about the talent of Jack Grealish. That's always there. Against West Ham, I would say that Grealish is single-handedly put the title destiny in our hands for the last day, because we lose that match. We put it in Liverpool's hands. But then where do you actually see Grealish? I do not still visualize where do I actually see Grealish, especially with Julian Alvarez coming next season. Julian Alvarez is a damn good player. Julian Alvarez is like a Thomas Muller kind of a player. I promise you that you would not have seen a player like Julian Alvarez in a long time. Because when have you heard it last that the heir to Thomas Muller is playing in this league? We have heard the next Messi, the next Ronaldo, the next Mbappe, the next Fernandinho, the next David Silva, the next Kevin De Bruyne, but nowhere have we heard the next Thomas Muller. And a River Plate fan said to me, this is the next Thomas Muller, mate. Just have a look at him. He's just fantastic. He has everything that a Pep Guardiola could ask for: passing, ball retention. Julian Alvarez is the next best thing to Harry Kane. JSK says, I don't think with Mbappe, Haaland will join Real, as it will be his Ballon d'Or rival. He will either move to Barca or stay in City like Aguero. And now with Raiola gone, there won't be a problem anymore. I mean, you can never say, but you can never say never with Real Madrid. You do not know. Maybe Haaland would see the chances. Haaland could see it as an opportunity to pair up with Kylian Mbappe. Real Madrid could put forward the proposal to him in 4 years' time. Like, I mean, how would it be if two of the world's best strikers play in a team together? We have never seen Messi and Ronaldo play together, and I don't think we'll ever see unless Ronaldo moves to PSG. But Real Madrid and Barcelona, for me, two clubs. That is where City is going next. I promise you, by the end of this decade in 2030-32, City will have the same pull of a Real Madrid and a Barcelona. Now players, I mean, if this was 6 years ago, Haaland would not have come to City. Haaland would have gone to a Bayern Munich or somewhere else, even a Barcelona, taking a pay cut. But it's just the pull of the club, pull of the project, the professionalism in the project, the places where Pep Guardiola is showing the world that the City team can really go. So that is what is pulling the best players towards here. So I won't be surprised if Haaland stays. Just like you say, like David Silva, everyone said he will go, he stayed. Yaya Toure stayed, Aguero stayed. So people stayed, but with Haaland, seeing his career graph, the way he has moved the clubs, I think that he will move the clubs every 4-5 years. He'll move on to clubs, not just due to the pull of Barca or Real Madrid, but due to the pull of making himself a complete footballer. I think Haaland, if you look at the journey of Haaland till now, Haaland always wanted to do that, be a complete player, getting exposure to all the leagues. So I do think Haaland might go. That is why it is really important for us to develop D-Lap. Just behind Haaland, we sell Jesus. There has been news that City want to sell Jesus for £55 million or something. With Arsenal, negotiations are ongoing. So we sell Jesus and we develop Delap as a secondary striker to Haaland. And if Haaland does leave, so Delap will be there. I mean, by 2030, what I want to see is 70% of this team being filled with City youngsters. I want to see Phil Foden, James McAtee, Cole Palmer, Luka Mbiti, Romeo Lavia, Liam Delap, Samuel Edozie, Oscar Bob, the most technically elegant player in our academy, all of Tommy Doyle, all of these players playing in the club, at least by the end of 2030. So I do want a class, something like a class of 99 at City as well. And I don't know why I'm getting goosebumps, but we are very near that moment. Near in the sense, in the next 5-6 years, we will see that. I think the next phase of transition, when Rodri, Ruben Diaz, after 6-7 years, will be, I think, our youngsters taking over. JSK says, yeah, according to Fabrizio, Haaland has rejected Real for City, so I don't think Perez will offer him anymore, as he's getting Mbappe, who's a better player currently. I think this divides opinion a lot. I always argue with my friends and with the opposition fans when we discuss Haaland and Mbappe. I say Haaland is better than Mbappe in terms of, I mean, hold up play. This is something people don't realize much, but Haaland can drop into the midfield. He can drag defenders with him. You know, when City played Dortmund last year, I think, in the quarterfinals of the Champions League, that's what Haaland did. He wasn't actually playing as a striker. He was dropping into the midfield and stuff. Mbappe doesn't do that. Mbappe doesn't do the hard work like a Haaland will do. You could say PSG team, but wherever a hard-working striker goes, you can recognize it. But Mbappe, I'm sorry, Mbappe is very sharp in the box, but he doesn't do as much hard work as a Haaland. And also I think the Carlo Ancelotti will have to instill this work ethic in him in terms of, tracking back, helping his teammates and stuff. I'll be fascinated to see how Mbappe develops that in Real Madrid, because at PSG, I know everyone was shit and no one was helping the midfield, no one was tracking back. In fact, at PSG, Marco Verratti made a comment yesterday, 2 days back, that you have to suffer. Each one has to help others if you really want to win the Champions League. So I do think Mbappe, if Mbappe would have come to City, Pep would have had a quarrel with him, just like he did with Zlatan Ibrahimovic, just like he did with all the superstar strikers. for me, it depends on your opinion, but for me, I do think Haaland is a better striker than Mbappe in terms of sharpness as well. I've seen Mbappe shooting, I think 2 seasons back, Bayern Munich PSG final, right? 2 seasons back in the Champions League. Mbappe could have won it for PSG. He had 2, 3 clear-cut chances. He didn't shoot. Haaland would have buried that. So in terms of the sharpness, Haaland is better than Mbappe for me in terms of the decision making. I know both are young, but even at this stage, in terms of decision making, in terms of the spaces to go into, in terms of the runs against a Parthapas team, Mbappe struggles, but against a Parthapas team, unlike most people think, Haaland doesn't struggle. And I'll tell you why Haaland doesn't struggle. It's the same reason why Raheem Sterling doesn't struggle. Raheem, whatever kind of defense you play against Raheem Sterling, he always seems to find that space at the far post. He doesn't score into the empty net, but he always seems to find that empty space, right, to get into the far post. Same thing with Haaland. You know what Haaland and Sterling do? They make a run in one direction, the defender goes with them, even in a Parthapas situation, and suddenly they change the direction and go elsewhere, and the defender can't adjust that turn of speed in decision making, that ability to see which spaces to occupy. For me, Haaland and Sterling are so good at that. That is one of the reasons why Pep doesn't want Sterling to go. In an ideal scenario, Pep would have put Sterling for sale, right? There are many clubs who want to take Sterling. I heard that Spurs was interested in Sterling. There was once Real Madrid was interested in Sterling. Finishing is fine, but Pep recognizes one thing, that the ability to identify that space and go into it, only world-class strikers have it. Sergio Aguero had it, Carlos Tevez had it to an extent, Ronaldo has it, Sterling has it. The bad luck with the guy is, well, destiny doesn't give everyone everything, but the bad luck with Sterling is he doesn't know finishing. That is something which comes naturally for a striker, but other than that, he has that identification of spaces, recognition of spaces, and that is the reason Pep doesn't want Sterling to go. This is surprised many people. Why are we letting Gabby go? Why don't we let Raheem go? This is the reason. There could be players, Julian Alvarez, perfectly capable of replacing Gabriel Jesus, the movement, the passing. But who is the player who occupies spaces like Sterling? Not many players at all. Marius Axet is here, City. Villa is playing tonight. Prediction. Well, Marius, the only prediction is they should get tired and they should pick up the bones and everything and come to City. Come to the Etihad. I actually didn't know that Villa was playing tonight a few days back. Actually, I thought both the teams had 1 week to prepare and I was shit scared. But Villa playing tonight, Villa playing 2 away games. Is it? No. Today is Villa's home game and against City an away game. Villa would not be used to playing in midweek and stuff. That should be another positive for City. I'm not getting too excited, but it should be a positive. And also yesterday I was thinking how much destiny is against us. Yesterday was the Europa League final, right? I was just thinking, had West Ham gone through to that Europa League final, would David Moyes have played his first team against City? No. Bowen, Antonio, Dawson, Fornells, everyone would have been rested, right? Maybe Mark Noble would have started in the midfield for his farewell, which would have meant we would have really crushed that West Ham team. Liverpool not getting Bayern Munich and having an easy tie against Villarreal. We having a tough leg against Atletico Madrid, losing Kyle Walker, then losing the FA Cup semi-final to Liverpool. Look at how much destiny has been against us this season, especially in the last 2-3 months. Each of the things that has happened, right from the Champions League draw to the injuries we have sustained to our fixtures, when and where we have had to play Liverpool, them playing easy fixtures, us playing every 3 days and us facing the toughest run in the Champions League, us facing that mentality outage against Real Madrid. So Well done to the boys. Whatever happens on Sunday, very well done to how we have dealt with everything that has happened to us this season, especially in the last 3 4 months. Marius says, as it seems, it looks like Villa is gonna have a hard time because we had a whole week of rest. Exactly. JSK says will be an easy game as Walker and Stones both are back and Ake is also fit to play. Ake is fit to play, but I think if Stones, and another question for you guys, if Stones is fit, would you start Stones right from the off? Or would you play Ake and then maybe bring on Stones at the end if you have to close out the game and stuff? Because the last thing we would want is, especially a hamstring injury, right, Stones? If he aggravates it, hamstring tear, I think he'll have to spend the entire summer in rehab. Kyle Walker, again, would you risk aggravating the injury or would you bring them on at half time? That's also not an easy decision. But Oli Watkins, the pace, Jacob Ramsey, Coutinho, the pace Villa have to run in behind us. I would really want Walker to start. JSK says no, Ake starting in Stone sub. Well, there's a problem with that, JSK. That's what I've been thinking. So if Ake starts and Villa are going to be really strained, right? Playing Burnley, and Burnley have everything to play for. Burnley are in a relegation fight, right? So Villa will most probably part the bus. And part the bus teams, City really focus on the centre backs in breaking down part the bus team. So, and Ake is not at all good on the ball. He's not good in the build-up play and stuff, though he has improved. And 2 left footers. I dread to say this, but Pep would go back to Fernandinho, just in terms of expecting Villa to part the bus and breaking down Villa. So I do not see Pep playing 2 left footers here. I know it would be a big risk. I know it's the title, but Pep is the biggest risk taker I have actually seen. I do not know of anyone else who plays a Champions League final without DM. So if he can do that, he can do anything in this Villa game. So I get where Pep is coming from, but like seeing what has happened against West Ham, I'm afraid of Pep starting Fernandinho again. Walker starting in sub 50 minutes with Egan Riley. Maybe yes, but I don't think Egan Riley is ready. Egan Riley, I don't think he's... it depends. If you're just 1-0 up or if you're 0-0 at that time, Pep wouldn't risk Egan Riley. If it's 0-0 or 1-0 and the game is on a knife edge, Walker will fight till the end. Just like Real Madrid, Walker will die for the badge on the pitch, or Walker will finish the game. Only one thing is gonna happen if the match is on a knife edge. I do expect Walker to start, like you said, but my concern is just this one thing: Ake or Fernandinho. I don't want Dino to start because he's going off next season. I don't want Dino to be remembered as the man who cost City the title. Just like Liverpool fans remember Steven Gerrard for that slip, even though he just gave them so many memorable moments. That Istanbul Champions League final win, but still Steven Gerrard slip. I don't want Dino to be remembered like that. So for me, it's a bit of a confusion. I would start a Stones actually. That would really remove all of the doubts. Marius says that goal Jack Grealish scored against West Ham was crucial. If it hasn't been for him, we probably would have lost that game. Exactly, that volley. You know, at the break of that West Ham game, I was like, because Real Madrid happened only a week and a half ago, right? Before that West Ham game, I was like, this is just gonna collapse, just like the Champions League final collapsed. I don't see us coming back. You know, the reason that goal was so important was we were playing against a counter-attacking team with Gerard Bowen, the most informed forward, Antonio. You are 2-0 down. You have a ragged defense. I didn't see us with any chance of coming back. But the way Jack Grealish took that game by the scruff of his neck, he would have scored another goal if luck was just by his side. If he had maybe given the ball to him, I think that goal was, it was a season defining goal actually. Striking the volley like that, I think maybe De Bruyne could have done that, and that's it. Not many people can do that. I mean, we got momentum in that game, exactly, and that too we got momentum early. We got momentum really early. I think just 6 7 minutes after the break, really stuck that. So, I mean, there were many things in that game that really went towards us. That Mahrez free kick, for Antonio chipping the ball over, I have to say there were moments that could have potentially gone against us. But the most important moment from that game was the Aymeric Laporte block. That's what I would say. Aymeric Laporte, if you guys remember, Aymeric Laporte blocked the point blank shoot from Gerard Bowen after the Zinchenko shit. That went in 3-1 and we were out of the game. So, guys, really good news that Kyle Walker's back and also John Stones back. I'm more skeptical seeing the nature of the injuries. I'm more skeptical that Walker is going to start that Villa game. And then, I mean, that's really fantastic news for us. And Villa is playing today. I hope they get tired, like I said. But fantastic news. And Kalvin Philips is an interesting one. There'll be more news coming about Kalvin Philips. And one more thing I forgot to mention about Kalvin Philips is his release clause. I mean, if Leeds get relegated, people are telling he'll be available for £25 million. So that is interesting. If he's available for £25 million, just snap him up, I think. In both Matthews Nunes and Kalvin Phillips, I think the price is just the difference. If it's just 25, I think just snap him up. That's a very, very good deal. JSK says, by the way, Foden versus Pedri will be midfield battle in future, like Xavi versus Zidane. Again, people would not like what I say. People would argue with me, but I think Foden is just going to grow into a beast. He's going to be much better than Pedri, actually. I say this just because the versatility of Phil Foden. Phil Foden can play on the wing. Excellent acceleration, excellent turn of pace. He has played false nine, can play in the midfield. You see the range of passing of Phil Foden, Pirlo-esque passing. So yes, Pedri will be really good, but Phil Foden will surpass that. People might not just get the potential of Phil Foden, but I think in the next 4 or 5 years, he will regularly be in the top 3 of the Ballon d'Or contenders. That's how good Phil Foden is gonna become. Maria says, what's really unfortunate this season is that when we take momentum in these big games like Real, we crumble. There is something there, lack of focus. I think that was a big shame. Yes, it still haunts me. It still haunts me to this day that Real Madrid collapsed. But I would not say lack of focus. That would just be a disgrace to the way we played. But it's nerves, I think. No, I mean, more than someone said before that game, that Real Madrid just do not know how to lose. And you cannot defeat someone who doesn't know how to lose, which means they never give up. Even in the 93rd minute, they keep pumping balls into the box. They keep pumping balls into the box. So I do think that we were taken aback by that kind of a mentality. And how does that kind of a mentality come? We are on the way. We might have suffered this, but all of the teams who have grown into great Champions League teams have suffered this. Bayern Munich at the hands of Manchester United. Manchester United in Gothenburg in 92-93. Real Madrid suffered these. AC Milan suffered these. Real Madrid suffered these. I mean, Liverpool suffered these scars in the past. So this is just a learning curve for me. And people say just put Madrid behind you. Forget what happened in Madrid. I say do not forget what happened in Madrid. Every time wear that scar on your chest like medal which you can show. I have been there and I've survived that experience and I've come back and we have done well. Newcastle, we have defeated West Ham. We have breezed through Wolves 5-1. So we have come back out of that horrific experience and done well. So Real Madrid has changed the way this club will approach elite level competitions. I think suffering the scars, I didn't like it, but that horrific experience is the next step for us. JSK, let's mourn Maguire for the Villa game. Yes, Harry Maguire. And also JSK, remember when all those United fans were telling Harry Maguire he's going to be the next big defender. They compared Harry Maguire to Vidic, Ferdinand when they snatched him for us by giving £5 million extra. And now they're looking forward to even throwing him away on a free. They call him the fridge. So Harry Maguire made. I mean, City have escaped so many bullets on the way, right? Fred was a bullet we escaped. Harry Maguire was a bullet we escaped. So many bullets. Jorginho, I would say, was the one we escaped. Otherwise, we wouldn't have maybe got Rodri. So I mean, especially from Pep came the last 4 or 5 years, the journey has seen fantastic ups and downs as well. So I mean, the kind of players we have bought in, most of them have been successful transfers, like maybe apart from Benjamin Mendy and stuff like that. So we have seen our ups and downs in the last 4 or 5 years, but this Sunday game, it really feels big for me. This Sunday game is a game we are playing against all of those people who said we do not have character and personality after losing to the Real Madrid game. And that is why I really want us to give a thumping answer to it. It's the world against us, and I want all of us to give a thumping answer to them with a performance in that Villa game on Sunday. Let us smash them. Why are we talking about managing the game? Let us go and smash them. Let us show who City is. Marius says, okay, not gonna mention Real. That was something else. But this team, man, it's looking good. We are now getting a real number 9. It's gonna be it's just gonna be absolutely crazy. And also just imagine Raheem Sterling occupying the back post, Haaland occupying the front post with their with their runs, and Kevin De Bruyne and confusion. Whom should I pass to? And Julian Alvarez occupying the goalkeeper. It's just gonna be it's gonna be a roller coaster ride. Just tie the seat belts. It's going to be 1,000 miles an hour from next season. And also we are going to get a good left back, mate. JSK says, according to me, best transfer is this year defeating Barca, Bayern and Real for Haaland. Yes, not just getting Haaland, but in a way that transfer was a statement of where we have moved. You know that UEFA petition, when UEFA wanted to ban us for FFP? There were almost 9 clubs from the Premier League, including Liverpool, United, Arsenal, and also Bayern Munich and Real Madrid and Barcelona, were against us. They really appealed to UEFA to uphold the ban and stuff. So getting this Haaland transfer through, winning that FFP appeal, these are all steps in a direction which are now making clubs, these so-called elite clubs, like Bayern Munich, who play in a Farmers League, like Real Madrid, Barcelona, they're just looking up and thinking in fear, in awe. What are the heights this city is going to reach? How are they going to just cover us and our history in dust? That is what Arsenal fans are already mourning, right? We are invincibles. We have the history. If you have the history, go to a library and read the history books. We are here to create the future. While dazzling in the present. That's what City is here for. So all these clubs are really afraid, mate, and the fear is going real among all these elite clubs. We are just going to smash their elite status, and next year is going to be the beginning of us taking on an all-together another level, a level that will turn monstrous, and all these clubs will be afraid. JSK says, according to best transfer is defeating Barca, Bayern and Real for Haaland. We have let that. 2 Real, 9 Haaland and Alvarez. Marius says, yes, Alvarez is another transfer which will really surprise a lot of people. I've repeated it again on the stream, but he's like a Thomas Muller. He'll just be fantastic for City. Julian Alvarez. And people say he plays with almost 99 finishing. If you have to rate him on FIFA for finishing, it would be 99 and more than that. That's the sharp finishing of Julian Alvarez. Marius says, just straight from the back, I am from Norway. I have had a lot of fun watching Haaland playing for my national team, and I truly believe he's gonna rip up the Premier League next season. Wow, that's really good. Having insight from someone from Haaland's parent country from Norway. That's really good to hear. It just gives me much more confidence because Haaland's home country, Norway. So because people have been saying that Haaland is gonna struggle in the Premier League, not getting used to the physicality of the Premier League and stuff. So it's really good to hear from you confirming it again, mate. And also, Marius, you should be excited to see Kevin De Bruyne and Haaland pairing together. That's going to be something else. De Bruyne supplying Haaland, Bernardo Silva supplying Haaland, Foden supplying Haaland, in fact. Marius says, yeah, it's a lot of City fans here. May our City fan base just grow, because the next decade, I'm very sure that it will belong to us. It will be a City fans just, dazzling in the present. Like I said, creating history, creating the future, ripping apart all of the records, ripping apart all of the beliefs that this cannot be done, these trophies cannot be achieved, everything. The next decade is going to belong to City, and Haaland is a great transfer in that direction from me. Anyway, thank you all so much for joining me. Wonderful comments. It's been fantastic interacting with you all, guys. We have another comment from JSK. We'll read that. Manchester will be blue for the next 50 years, JSK. Manchester was already blue, JSK, when Tevez came, and we put up a big billboard saying, welcome to Manchester. Manchester was always blue when they won the title, and then we took it off them and Aguero waved the shirt. It was a shirt waved into the face of all the United fans. So Manchester was already blue then. And now with Manchester declining so much, not just for the next 50 years, Manchester will be blue for a long time. The foundations which City are laying, it's just incredible, and the kind of monstrous monument we can create from these foundations, you cannot just imagine. Marius says City have been the dominant club. As we see Man United, big man thing. They are in the mud. They are done out of here. Long may it continue, blood. And long will it continue, I'm confident. The last thing we would want is us winning the Champions League trophies. That's the one stick they beat us with. United fans, whenever I interact with them, again, we have won the European Cup, those nights in Munich, for example, defeating Bayern Munich that way. You never experienced those. And also that youth team, United fans say that we've had the class of 99. What did you have? And all of that. I think in the next decade, all of that is going to go. We'll have our youngsters coming through. It's inevitable, no, that we will win the European Cup, we'll win the Champions League. A Real Madrid is not going to happen every year on year, right? With Haaland, honestly think, guys, with Haaland, we are just going to smash Champions League teams. Haaland is going to be important in those moments. Like against Real Madrid, we should have scored 6-7 on that night, right? Haaland is really going to be important in those moments, actually. So I really hope that we do well in that Villa game. That is the target. And then there are lots to discuss about the next season. Fantastic. Already good news is coming about next season. But the one worry I have is the Premier League trophy. I do not want Liverpool to win the quadruple. And I really hope we do well against Villa. And once this is done, it will be almost like a monkey will be off my back. Pressure will be off my back. Marius says they can't say anything. They say class of 99, but me, I wasn't even born then, so I was lucky that I didn't have to see that. And I was barely born then, mate. So even I didn't see that. It's almost, I sometimes, feel sympathetic for Arsenal fans and United fans. Arsenal fans still cling on to that invincible thing. Invincible? Well, you could just draw all the matches in a Premier League season and just get 38 points and get relegated and still be invincible, right? That season when Arsenal achieved invincibles, that is not good enough for third place this season. So Arsenal's invincibles are just in the bin already. And with that logic, it doesn't make sense at all. And United as well. That's all the old generation, the United of the 90s, just speaking, knowing that they can longer rival us on the field of play. And when they can't do that, what they will do is they'll put up those history books, open big libraries, take out the boring history books and tell it to us. But we are filled with enthusiasm. Where do we have the time to listen to that history books? We're just going forward. This club is running at such a pace that United fans are literally crying that even if we spend 300 million this year, we can't catch City. The reason they can't catch City is money brings you players, but money can't instill culture in a club. Pep Guardiola, people say, Pellegrini, City have won Premier Leagues under Pellegrini, under Mancini, but the thing why Pep Guardiola has been brought into this club is to instill that culture now, right from the bottom, the under 13s, even the under 9s, I would say, to the first team. Everyone plays a similar brand of football. It's the culture, it's the work ethos. Each striker, right from that under 13s to the first team, each striker in each team runs back and helps out his teammates. The fullbacks play high and wide. The DM is taught through all the age groups to recognize space, to play under pressure. This is the personality that Pep has instilled. That is why Pep Guardiola has been brought into this club. He might or might not win the Champions League, but he's always been a success. Anyone can win trophies, but the real legends are the ones who have instilled the culture into the club. That is why Pep Guardiola, for me, goes out there as one of the greatest managers in the world has seen, if not the greatest manager. Marius is invincible, my whole, as Big Steve said at Laudable. Everyone can be invincible. We can be invincible and relegated. No joke. That's right. Yeah, exactly. Like I was saying, you get 35 points, draw each match and get relegated. No one gives a shit. But look at how far they have gone down. Arsenal, United, that they that they are just having to dig up past graves to find out where they were good, because they have nothing to look forward to. So I mean, still there is tension in me regarding that Villa match, but at least today's news has got me some relief. And thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much, Marius, for those incredible comments. Thank you so much, JSK. Thank you so much, Sumant. Thank you so much, all of you guys, for the wonderful comments. Been an absolute pleasure chatting with you all, guys. It's been wonderful. Do come along every day for chats like this if you're free. Anyway, guys, if you've liked the content, do click on the like button and do click on the subscribe button so that you'll get notified whenever I come on for presenting content like this. And have a good night with this great news, and see you all tomorrow. Take care.